Katie, Lori.
Okay, she's coming here. I'll wait for her. I was going to start.
Are we ready?
Oh, yes.
Everybody, thank you so much for coming. On behalf of N1, Save a Med, and the team that's not here, Cheryl's working out, everybody else is home or having their priorities. I just want to thank you all for coming. Those of you that are members, those of you that are not, it's a great opportunity for you to kind of learn a little bit about what N1 Health Save a Med does. SAVA actually means selfless help. So one of the things that Dr. Saxana does is she reaches out to the community. And so it's an opportunity to kind of get you guys to understand kind of what we're about. And so what we've done tonight is we have our guest speaker, Elizabeth Durham, and her daughter and her husband, so it's a family affair. And she's going to do another cooking class for us. So she is a cooking expert, and she shares what she's great at. We have a couple sponsors. We at N1 Health Save Med do not endorse or promote our sponsors, but those folks that do come along with us, they often bring sponsors so that we can give you guys the free sampling of food and to cover things like that. So I just wanted to put that little housekeeping tidbit. If anyone has any questions about becoming a member of the practice, I'm the membership advisor. I'd be happy to speak to you at any time. You can come see me afterwards. I'll give you my card. Otherwise, I'll turn it over to Elizabeth. Sit back and relax. There's recipes. If you haven't gotten them, they're on the back counter. Also, she has a co-op that's awesome, and her brochures for the food co-op are available. And lastly, if you haven't signed in, please see me before you leave. We just like to check in to see who was here, and we just appreciate so much your time, even you. I was like, so anyway, any questions before we get started? Okay, great.
All right. Like Lori said, my name is Elizabeth, and this is my oldest daughter, Emma. She's 12 and in 6th grade over at Luke's Prep, just a couple miles south of here. My husband will be videotaping tonight, and he is a teacher at Luke's Prep. I am a wife and mother of 5. Emma, the oldest, at 12, and then my son Will is 10. And then my daughter Sophia is 8, and then I have another daughter, Isabella, and she's 4, and then Giada, our other daughter, will be 2 next month. So it's a pretty busy household, but it's fabulous. Like Lori said, I do run organic co-op. It's called Lettuce Heads, and we have a pickup every other Wednesday. We have a full basket for 40, and then we have a half basket for 25. Actually, we have a pickup tomorrow, and in the basket there's green beans, red beets, bok choy, yellow lettuce, colored mini peppers, sweet potatoes, apples, Hass avocado, white grapefruit, and Bosc pears. I couldn't remember that list, so I had to read off my stuff. So I am also involved with fitness. My husband and I actually work out together in the mornings before the kids get up. Kind of have that time together to get, kind of energized and ready for the day. We started out with T25, and I started with that because it's 25 minutes a day. And for me, I'm sure with everybody, your time is valuable, and to really get a good workout in, build up the strength and endurance. That's what we started with. And then we moved on just to build up a little more flexibility. We moved on to PIO, which is like a Pilates and yoga exercise. So, and then the Shakeology is something that we drink for breakfast in the morning, and it's a very dense nutritional shake. So those are a few things about our exercise routine. I also run a blog that's called Dinner with the Durhams, and I started it because I wanted my kids to kind of know my thoughts and recipes. There's a lot of pictures, and just a kind of a diary of what we do every day, and also to inspire people to live their best life, eat healthy, exercise, and be good people. And so a little bit more about me. First and foremost, I love spending time with my family. That's the most important thing to me. I obviously enjoy cooking, and I'm passionate about feeding my family the foods that are going to nourish their body, not just feed them. One of my big sayings is that when you have a vehicle and it calls for unleaded fuel, you're not going to go to the gas station and put diesel in it because you would destroy the engine. And it's the same thing with food. You're not going to go, I mean, if you go to McDonald's every day and eat McDonald's, you're destroying your engine. And so if you nourish your body with healthy foods, you're going to keep your engine going a lot longer. Over the past year, we've really transformed our eating. I felt like we were eating healthy. I was soaking our grains. I was making our bread at home, doing things like that. And then we realized that we had a problem with gluten. And so every bite that we were taking of that gluten, we were destroying our insides. And we've been gluten-free for a little bit over a year, which has made the biggest health impact on our lives. And Dr. Saxena was really the guiding light to our health. But now I'm definitely the healthiest I've been ever. I mean, I think even from when I was a little kid. So I'm going to go ahead and pass around a sign-up sheet just for me to get your name, email address, and the one that you signed in, that's for Seva Med. But I also want to, your phone number. And then if you're interested in anything, I have here, if you're interested in the co-op, I actually have, I didn't mention that, I have a 5-day clean eating challenge, which I've made out the recipes, the shopping list, just the menu for 5 days. So you'll have breakfast, 2 snacks, lunch, and dinner. And they're easy can do meals, within a half an hour, get them on the table.
Do you have to exercise the first one?
Yes, you have to exercise. Yes, you have to exercise. You should exercise for a half hour a day. Yes. And that's also, if you're interested in any of the exercise programs, and also I'll be sending around these as well, and you can just put your name on them if you're interested. I'm going to do a drawing for one of the Shakeologies. There's chocolate and vanilla. So let me grab a pen. I'm going to go ahead and start with you. And thank you. Okay. So we aren't actually going to be cooking tonight. We are going to be more preparing because everything is raw. So we're going to start with dehydrating and soaking nuts or seeds and why we would do that. And the first off is that seeds and nuts have something in them, and you want to break down the anti-nutrients in a nut or a seed so that they're easier to digest. You can put nutrients in them, and when you soak the nuts, it's almost like preparing it for germination. So you're breaking down the bad stuff to get it ready to grow a new plant. And then when you soak the nuts and then dehydrate, you get rid of all the bad stuff, and so your body's able to digest them properly. So we're going to start with one of my favorite nuts, which is pecans. This bag, actually, with 5 kids, you gotta buy in bulk. So this bag I actually got at Costco. I do a lot of bulk buying. Costco and Amazon is where I get a lot of my things. So Emma, if you want to go ahead and open that bag. And so soaking your nuts or seeds, it's not hard. It may take a little time, but the time it's not, you're not working hard. You're just dumping some nuts in a bowl, and then you want to add a little bit of salt. We do 1 tablespoon of salt. And you notice on the first page, I have here just different, like for almonds, how many, just 1 tablespoon of salt, the filtered water, and then you want to soak any of them a minimum of 7 hours, except for cashews. Cashews aren't actually raw. They go through a process to remove the cardol, which is toxic oil on the outside of the shell, so they're actually heated to 350 degrees. So when you soak those, you only want to soak them for 6 hours at the maximum, because they'll spoil on you faster. So all the recipes are right there on the first and second page for the nuts. So then you want to go ahead and add 1 tablespoon, and then I have some filtered water. And if you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to ask. I'm an open book, so. Okay. So really, you just dump the nuts in and then add your salt. And then your filtered water. And I noticed, you'll notice that when you do soak your nuts, the water gets brown and kind of icky. But then you just rinse them, you put them in a strainer and then rinse them off. And then you throw them in your dehydrator. So that's it. That's how you soak nuts. And you just set them on the counter. Yes?
What did you say the salt was for again?
I've
never used salt to soak.
No, it just helps the process of breaking down the phytic acids. Oh, yeah. And this is pink Himalayan sea salt. This is one of my favorite salts by far. So that's it. Amazon. But I mean, for my salt, I do buy in bulk. So, I'll buy a big bag at a time. But you can get it at Whole Foods, Nutrition Smart.
TJ Maxx.
TJ Maxx.
Really?
Okay.
BJ's has it also, if you have a membership to BJ's.
Okay. Yeah. And I haven't even checked. Costco might have it too. I haven't checked there.
Big Costco, they might, but I know BJ's does.
Yeah. Okay. So then I have my nuts soaking. They, say they soak for 7 hours. I'm just gonna strain them in the sink and then rinse them. And this is my dehydrator. This is what I use to dehydrate the seeds and nuts. Or fruit. What else have we done in here? I'm not sure. But this one I got on Amazon, and it comes with this little mat. If you do decide to buy a dehydrator, I recommend buying a mat for each shelf, because when I do my seeds, I have to put this one on the bottom, and then the next shelf, because I do a lot at a time, the next shelf I'll put paper towels out. And it doesn't work the best, so I would highly suggest getting one of these for each layer. So then all you do is, I always put this at the bottom to catch anything that's falling through, and you just put a nice even layer, and then you can stack them all, put this on top, and the fan on this one is at the top, which it does a really good job. And then you can see up here on the top, it gives you suggestions for what temperature you want to dehydrate things. So nuts and seeds are at 105 degrees, and you don't want them to go up. You don't want it to go over 115, or they wouldn't be considered raw any longer. And you will notice that they do take quite a bit of time. Like for me, almonds take almost 24 hours to really get them dry, and you want that crunch on them. I forgot to mention, when you get the pecans or whatever nut you're using, I salt them right before I dehydrate them, and that gives them, a nice little flavor. So, and then you can try and just lift up the thing and try one if they're ready, whatever level of crunch you're looking for. So that is dehydrating.
I have a question.
Yes.
What if you don't have a dehydrator?
If you don't have a dehydrator, you want to use the lowest setting on your oven. Now it probably wouldn't be considered raw, because I don't think my oven goes down that low. But
Mine was 170.
170. Okay. And you could still do it at that temperature, just for it to, if you're not looking for a raw nut. But it would you would definitely need to watch the time on that. That would go a lot quicker, and they would get quite a bit crispier too in the oven. So, but you can definitely use the oven and just spread them out evenly on a baking sheet. And yeah, that would work. Okay, so I have here pecans, and these have been soaked and dehydrated. So if you want to, we'll just go ahead and get one of those little bowls. Yeah. And we'll go around or you know what? Why don't you just go around and just give one to everybody, see if they want to try it. You can just you can give them a napkin. Okay? And then when she comes back, I'm going to use the rest of the pecans to make pecan butter. You've heard of cashew butter, or almond butter, or peanut butter. I love pecans. It reminds me of when I was a kid. My grandma used to make pizza, And pizza is this. She would use the entire counter and roll out this dough, a really thin dough. And then she would cover it with butter and sugar, you know, all the good stuff, and pecans with cinnamon, and then the green raisins. Then she'd roll it up, and it was just the most fabulous thing. So the pecans always remind me of my childhood and pizza. So I made this. This is kind of, since we don't eat gluten anymore, and I couldn't make pizza. This was kind of my way of having that with apples. So I made the pecan butter, and you can dip apples in it. So. And the pecans definitely don't take as long to dehydrate. I would say the almonds take the longest. The seeds, I do a mixture of, we'll use these tonight, a mixture of pumpkin and sunflower seeds. And these definitely don't take as long as the nuts do.
And now why dehydrate versus just eating it regular?
They would be very soft and kind of slimy. They wouldn't, I mean,
Oh, you
some
mean
people
before?
do.
I think you
before
mean
I
before it's
dehydrate
been
it?
soaked.
Oh,
Why
before
not
it's
just
been
eat
No,
it?
why just not buy the bag and eat them out of the bag?
Because they have phytic acid in them, and if you break down the phytic acid, it helps you digest them better. It aids in the mineral and vitamin absorption, and you don't get the anti-nutrients in the nut. So if you soak it, you break down the anti-nutrients in the nut, because they have the anti-nutrients to keep them safe, that they mature to, so they can germinate and produce more. So that's what we do. It's an extra step, but it's worth it. And did you try them? Yeah. Did you like them? Kind of.
You know, like pecans.
No. Okay.
There's roasting an almond or a nut, break it down some.
It would be, no, you would really need to do the soaking first. You need to do the first step. And if you do heat, you know, if you do roast them, you're going to lose some of the nutrients. And that's what the big thing about my presentation today, I guess I should back up, is everything here is raw. So nothing here is going to be cooked. So you get the nutrients from everything raw. And that's with the nuts, you'll get the nutrients from them as well. And sometimes when you heat things, they lose some of the nutrients, but then also like in tomatoes, you're going to, when you heat those, you actually help it by, you know, more the lycopene and those things. So let me just get her finished with those, and then we will make.
So Elizabeth,
Yes.
if you wanted to add spices to the nuts, you
Yes.
can do that in the dehydrator?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You can just, I would take
Like
one of
chili
my
powder?
mixing bowls, yeah. Do one of my mixing bowls, put it in there, whatever you want. You could do like, we did one with salt and garlic granules and chili powder and a little bit of cayenne. Yeah, those were really good. The kids didn't like them, but the adults did. And then I did one for the kids with cinnamon, and they really enjoyed those. Yeah. So, okay, so we're going to do some cinnamon. And on the recipe, you'll notice it says coconut sugar. I forgot sugar. So we're going to use maple syrup instead, which that works too. So then this is approximately a pound of pecans. And this is a new food processor. We were testing out our key lime tarts for dessert, and mine broke. So last night my husband ran. Hi, that's okay. He ran and grabbed me a new one so we could make our pecan butter.
Sorry.
So let's do. We need a half a tablespoon of the cinnamon.
Are you using the same amount of maple syrup as you would coconut sugar?
Yes. No. You know, coconut sugar is a lot lower on the glycemic index than maple syrup. So where coconut sugar is like 35, I think maple syrup's like 52. So the maple syrup's going to be a lot sweeter than the coconut sugar would be. So maybe I'll just add a tablespoon because the pecans naturally have a sweeter taste. Just one tablespoon, this one right here. Or half a tablespoon. We'll just do a half. When I cook, I kind of eyeball stuff. So we'll just do half a tablespoon of cinnamon. You know what? I'll go ahead and do this. You want to start slicing up some apples, and we'll get this going.
If it's easier, I think we have an apple slicer. Do you want to use that?
Did you bring the apple slicer? No. Yes, that would be great. Is it back here?
Yeah, right in that drawer like that. Should be.
We're looking for the apple slicer. You know what? I'll let you go ahead and do this, and how about I slice it? Does that work? We're going to do 2 tablespoons. Why don't you grab a big spoon? Yeah, just use that. Yes, go ahead and put it in there. My daughter was wonderful today. She helped me pack everything and get all ready to come tonight. So this is my wonderful Cutco knives. This is actually the cheese knife. Did you find that knife? I use it for everything. And then this is like their steak knife, but I use this for all my cooking. It's fabulous. And you know, with all the kiddos, I'm always used to chopping so many apples that I don't think it'll take too long. So we'll go ahead and get these set up. Just 1 tablespoon, you can get it going. So pecans are obviously a great source of protein, like any nut or seed. It has oleic acid, vitamin. They're also rich in the B complex vitamins and manganese, potassium, calcium, iron, magnesium, zinc, and zinc. So they're definitely a great little snack. Okay, let's see. Okay, we're going to be loud for a minute. Go ahead. We got it. Down at the bottom, and then it's still kind of chunky at the top. So if you just use your spatula, oops, not sure how to use this. There we go, and just kind of dig it back in there. Oh, it smells so good. It smells like my grandma. Mr. Durham, pizza. So as you can see, making any nut butter, it usually takes a little bit just to get everything broken down. And that's why I added the coconut oil, which I think I'm going to add a little bit more. The pecans, which I don't like when I make almond butter, I don't add coconut oil because it's not, the almonds have plenty of oils in them. But with the pecans, you need something extra just to get it a little bit more smooth. Yeah, if anybody wants some water, you're welcome. talk very much while that thing's going.
What kind of food processor is that?
It's at Hamilton Beach. I used to have a Cuisinart. Thanks, babe. And gosh, I had that for a long time, and I broke it 2 years ago. So when you use it, you can go ahead. I'll talk. When I use it, I have to hold it down to make it work, and I kept it going for 2 years. But then a lot of pieces stuff off. So we walked in that hole, and the Cuisinart was a lot more expensive, but this has more power, and it was $25 cheaper. So when you have that 30%, that hole makes it very helpful. And we're going to do a little bit more. Go ahead and do a little bit more maple syrup. And a little bit more cinnamon. Here, let's measure it. A little bit more cinnamon too. And that's what I do. Like whenever I'm cooking, I always just try it. And if it doesn't taste quite right, go ahead and add whatever you need to. A little bit more cinnamon. And that's how I'm kind of teaching Emma to cook as well. I can put her in the kitchen and say, Emma, I need you to make some salad dressing, and she's in there making her salad dressing. And actually, she got the kids' dinner tonight as well. Grab a spoon and go ahead and just put a little dab in each of the bowls. You can bring them out.
This is the butter, this is the
Pecan butter, yes. It might not be as smooth as what it usually is. We're actually going to use the food processor again for our dessert tonight. The next dessert is key lime pie. You ever had key lime pie? It's so yummy. When 10 years ago, for our 10-year anniversary, my husband and I went to Naples, and every restaurant we went to, we had to try their key lime pie. That was like, I was pregnant, and that was my big thing, was key lime pie. And so everywhere we went, we got key lime pie. This is a raw key lime pie, actually made with avocados as the filling. And we're going to do, again, the pecans for the crust.
It gets better, right?
For what it is, it's good.
I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff mixed up so we can move on to our massaged kale salad. You have to love your veggies. I sent my friend a recipe for the kale salad, and she's like, massaged? Do you really massage? Was that a typo? I'm like, no, we really do massage your kale. So. And this is something that I make up, and once I get it all mixed up, I put it in one of my Pyrex bowls, and just have it in the fridge. And you know, it's an easy on-the-go snack that you could just grab an apple. And I always grab my apple. I take my knife with me, and you know, a paper towel, and I'll cut my apple, you know, wherever I am. And then you could just put some pecan butter in a little to-go cup, and you've got a great snack.
What kind of apples are those?
These are Honeycrisp. They're really good, yes. Do we need more? Do we need a couple more?
Thank you so much.
Monica, did you get one?
We still need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 2.
I'll go ahead and cut one more apple.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You're sitting there like, hey, that's mine. Everybody by the end of the road, so they're like salivating, like, please, I want that. Okay, great. Let me take these. Oh, thanks.
I'm sure Mr. Durham can tell you why it's important to eat the skin.
Oh, you definitely, that's got all the good stuff in there. You don't like the crunch of the skin? You just like the sweet part on the
Does
inside,
anybody
right?
want a second? Did not anyone not get it first before I? Seconds, anybody? I'll take seconds.
The kiddos want seconds. I know they do. They are good eaters. Laura, you want some? Yeah. These aren't mine. This is my oldest, and then the other 4 are at home. They came to my cooking class in November. And they loved everything, right? They did. They just ate it up.
It's a great mix.
That was the turkey soup one, right?
Yes, yes. Do we need any more? I can keep chopping.
Notice that you took the pecans right out of the containers, you did not dehydrate them?
Yes, those, I had done those at home. I had soaked those and dehydrated those at home, yes. So I did those just the other day so they would be ready for tonight. Do we want more? Okay,
It's
yes.
just almost eat off the spoon.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you dehydrate
Yes.
you
Well,
and
well,
put
it
them
would
in
depend.
a sealed
I
container
think I'm gonna put
and
it.
keep them in the refrigerator?
No, after you dehydrate them, you can go ahead and, this is actually what I use. It's got that big coconut oil on it. You can just go ahead and put it in a Pyrex container. I also have in our pantry, I have some really neat, Ball has come up with some really neat, oh, it's around the corner, larger jars with the lid. So I'll use those for some of the, yeah, I could show them if you want to. For some of our, we do a lot of trail mix at home, like for the snack for kids. The kids, when they, for their afternoon snack at school, they take trail mix. So these are our dried cranberries, but this is one of the big ones that I use. I did not, I have tried cranberries myself, and you wouldn't want to eat them. They did not turn out very well. They were really chewy and gummy. Yes. That's why I was trying to get away from the sugar.
Now, where did you get the jar?
Oh, the jar, Target. They're actually on sale this week. I just saw them the other day. And IKEA has some really neat glass jars with the lids on them.
So you like glass rather than glass?
I try to use the glass as much as possible, yes.
Did you put 1 tablespoon of syrup in there?
You know, I ended up with 2 tablespoons, yes. There we go. Okay, do we need any, we have 3 more. Does anybody else need some more? Want some more? That's up to you. You want some more too? Okay. Got another one. Mom, it looks like you're gonna have to make this. I mean, it's almost like an apple pie, right? Yes. So you can even do it as dessert.
How long do you find that the nut butters last in the fridge for you?
That's okay.
Of course, you have 5 kids. You probably shouldn't
They
ask that
don't last
question.
very long in our fridge.
24 hours. Yeah.
You know, a few weeks, they're fine. I've never had them go bad. You could always cut it in half too. Cut the recipe in half, and then, no, you'll eat it.
I'll eat it. I won't need to worry about my kids eating it. I would just eat it.
Right, right. Oh yeah, this is definitely my favorite. My Sophia too, she absolutely loves pecans. And see, something so simple and such a nutritious snack.
It really is.
Oh, you did the butter?
Uh-oh.
I can't believe I gave you that. I gave her apples without butter.
Apples.
Oh,
That's Lori's trying to save it for herself, right?
I did hide one back here, so
Good.
maybe that's what I get for doing. Okay, who else wanted second to get it? Don't be shy.
No, please don't be shy. I want you to enjoy having
I
this.
know, it's like, there you go. Who else wanted another one? Over there? This one's up. Anybody else over here before I get to the middle? Yes. Oh, okay. See, I like that. People are being shy down there. You guys can do that. Yeah, wait till you get to the key line. Just
So my in-laws, my fabulous, wonderful in-laws, they are staying with us. They got here, we have 4 birthdays over the holiday break, and so they got here right before Christmas time. They're here until April 7th, and they're staying with us. They're wonderful. My mother-in-law does the laundry, my father-in-law does the dishes, and they help out with the kids. And so tonight, we had made dessert up ahead of time as well. So she said, all I want for payment for babysitting is some key lime pie. And I said, that's fine, because we're making up a whole nother one, and you can have the whole pie. So that's her payment for watching the kids. Okay, do we need more?
I think, is that it? Anybody wants to?
We good?
We're good.
Okay.
So if you could go ahead and just put that back in this bowl.
The kids had off for 4 days, so tonight is back to making lunches. But now I have the pecan butter and some apples, so they'll have. Okay.
Elizabeth, to get a little bit more creamier, would you add more coconut oil?
No, I would let it go longer.
Longer?
Yes, and it's more like 10 minutes.
Okay.
But I just kind of stopped it so we could go ahead and eat and the noise would stop. But yeah, it usually goes about 10 minutes just to get it a lot creamier. And you'll notice once you get to that point and you're like, oh yeah, that's better. Okay. Let me just get cleaned up a little bit and we'll move on to our massaged kale salad. You got it? Okay, so we've got our seeds.
Are your apples for your co-op?
I usually have apples. We ran out. My kiddo is 8. That's like the first thing that they eat is all the apples. So Scott actually ran by Target tonight and grabbed the apples. The Honeycrisp? Yes. And they're organic too. Okay. So this is a huge bunch of kale, obviously. But you'll notice how much it breaks down. If you want to go ahead and take that wash for me. Just leave that in there. You can do that later. Go ahead and do the kale first. Then you can wash it with that brush. Okay. So for kale salad, we're gonna use our shaker cup, and I'm gonna make, if you don't have a shaker cup, you can always just put it, I usually use a measuring cup with a fork, and you can whisk that, or a whisk, it'll work that way too. Okay, my new favorite oil is avocado oil. I'm not a big fan of olives, so for me, olive oil is definitely not my favorite. The avocado oil, even if you don't like avocados, it doesn't taste like avocados. It's a really light oil. You can use it in cooking, sauteing. You can use it in dressings, which I really love because it doesn't take on, your salad dressing doesn't take on the taste of the oil. So that's why we're using the avocado oil.
And BJ's has a big bottle of avocado oil for $9.99, so
Really?
I just got some there.
Wow, I pay a lot more for that.
It's the medium heat. I don't think it's organic, but I think avocados are clean.
Yes, avocados are definitely a good one. Okay, so with the kale, what you want to do is just take it by the rib and you can kind of pull it off. Or you can always lay it down and just kind of cut it off of the stem. But you don't want to eat that part. And then I just use my knife and cut it into bite-sized pieces.
Even if you were making kale soup, would you not use the rib?
Yes. I mean, you could go ahead and eat it if you'd like to, but you would probably have to cook it for a very long time to get it to soften up. And that's what I like to use. In my soups, I like to use kale or bok choy. Bok choy is one, actually that's in the basket for tomorrow. That's one of my favorites because you get the crunch from the white part, and then you get the green color from the greens, and also obviously the nutritional part of it. Kale actually has 3 grams of protein, which I was so surprised. Let's see what a serving is. 33 calories, 3 grams of protein, and that was a cup of kale. And it's got vitamins A, C, and K. It packs a pretty powerful punch, nutritional punch, I guess. So we're going to go ahead and get this chopped up, and then the dressing is going to be a lemon dressing. So it's going to have the avocado oil, lemons, which are over here, and so just a little bit of garlic granules, salt and pepper, a little bit of the maple syrup, and that's it. So making salad dressings at home, really, it's really not hard, but you're going to save on all the bad stuff that's in salad dressings. And I do have some other recipes. I'm actually working, if you notice at the top of the front page, I'm working on, I shouldn't say my wonderful husband is working on a website, and it's Whole Family Healthy, and it incorporates my co-op, the exercising that we do, and my blog. So I'm trying to get more recipes up on there, and because I have a bunch of different salad dressing recipes, which another one that we really like to make is a balsamic vinaigrette, and it's my mother-in-law's favorite, and it's really easy. Again, it's just the oil, the avocado oil, 3/4 of a cup. If you want to write it down, I'll go ahead and give you the recipe. It's 3/4 of a cup of the avocado oil, a 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar. Let's see, I don't measure really well. So a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic granules. And you could always, if you're not a big fan of garlic, you can start with less and add more. A little bit of salt and pepper. 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, and 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. And that's it. And it really makes the best dressing. And you can just put that in your fridge, and you have salad dressing for us, for us it's like one meal. Because I'm cooking for my in-laws now too, but you can put it in the fridge and you have it for the week, and make up your salads ahead of time, have them ready, and there's your lunch.
Is there a certain pecan mustard?
I like the Publix Greenwise brand. That's my favorite. And we really, my almost 2-year-old The other day I opened the fridge and I was holding her and she was, and I said, do you want the mustard? And she stuck out her finger and I put mustard on her finger and she just ate the mustard. That girl just eats some crazy, she likes hot sauce. Like not even 2 and she's eating hot sauce, so. She did not get that from me, she got that from Daddy.
Now, you say garlic granules.
Yes, I like the garlic granules, the
That's different than like,
garlic powder.
well, there's garlic powder, there's also
Minced garlic,
and,
yes. You know, I was always the fresh garlic person. And it got to the point where I wanted to move things along faster in the kitchen. And I wasn't a really big fan of garlic powder.
Really?
I don't like the minced garlic. And but I did find that garlic granules just have that, they have the better texture. We'll put this on top of our pizzas, or when I saute, we love asparagus. So when I saute asparagus, I'll just put salt and pepper and the garlic granules on top. And it's pretty close to the real thing. It just saves me a lot of time from the real garlic. But if you want to use the real garlic, then by all means, you can definitely do that as well.
You use an awful lot of maple syrup. Could you use honey?
You can use honey, yes. In raw, and I brought the maple syrup because that is a raw ingredient. So, or no, it's not, I'm sorry. It would be a vegan ingredient. So that's why I was kind of trying to stick with the vegan diet as well. But the sweeteners that I have at home, I have, and I also, through the co-op, so if you're interested in a co-op, you know, that would be wonderful. If you're interested in just getting honey, I have a local honey lady that I get honey from. She's in Dade City. So I can also get honey. And so I use honey, maple syrup, and coconut sugar, and dates. We're actually going to be putting dates in the crust of our tart tonight. And I do have to tell you, I made I thought it would be really cute to make the little key lime tarts in the muffin, the little muffin tins. It's like little individual things, but then I realized they soften up, so it's gonna be kind of messy tonight, but it'll still taste good. And she's the biggest help with everything, so she's really good at doing dishes. And you can talk, Emma. I didn't tape her mouth. She can talk. So she said, Mom, what do I say? I said, you can say anything. If anybody asks you a question, you can talk to them or anything like that. What's that?
Put a potential well.
Yeah. Oh, yes. My son came for the first cooking class, and I don't think he stopped talking the entire time. So when we left, he said, Mom, I think everybody loved me. I don't think so. We have a public speaker on our hands. He actually wants to be a paleontologist. And that's been his career goal for quite a while now, as a paleontologist. And I said, whatever you do, I'll be right there in the first row, no matter
Have you
what
taken
it
him out
is.
to Dinosaur World yet?
We haven't. You know, my brother and sister-in-law just went, and I sent her a message. I'm like, okay, how was it? And she said it's wonderful.
It's pretty well done for a small private.
Yeah, I can't believe we haven't been there yet.
I need to get Mosey to go on a fossil day.
On Fossil Day?
Not Mosey.
Oh, at Mo?
They do them at Dinosaur World too, I think. They have
Okay.
a big sand.
Well, I
pit.
know she even got like a Groupon for it, and they got a really good deal for the tickets. So, cutting your kale is time consuming. I was at Publix not too long ago. I mean, I get most of my produce from the co-op, so you know, I go ahead and do this. And what I'll do when if I get a big bunch of kale or greens or whatever we have, I cut everything up in one day. So I bring it home, I get it cut up, and then I put it in the Ziploc bag. These are, the Ziploc brand is BPA free. So I put them in the Ziploc bags, and then they're good for the week. But Publix has, I just noticed they have an organic kale in the bags now, where it's all chopped up. And so if you really are pressed for time and you're like, I want a kale salad, but I really don't want to chop it up, you can get it bagged as well. Okay, I only have 2 left. Can you just hit the button on the computer?
Some of the chopped kale in bags still hasn't stemmed.
They're not as wonderful as I am at removing the stem. Yes.
But
I
if
did
you're
notice
using it
that.
for cooking, then they will.
They'll break down, yeah. Okay, can you go down a little bit for me? I'm just throwing water all over the place. Okay.
Are your co-op boxes available weekly?
It's bi-weekly, and it's every other Wednesday is our delivery. And I have a pickup location at 52 in the Suncoast. There's one at Lutz Prep. There's one at 54 in the Suncoast. We meet people at Target there. And then there's one in Newport Richey at Little Road and 54. So those are my 4 pickup locations. Okay, let me just wash my hands off a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the salad dressing. Oh, this is so nice having my little helper. Last time it was like trying to clean up while I was cooking, so. Just get these out of the way. So, I have to pull out my recipe, let's see. So we're gonna do 2/3 of a cup of the avocado oil. Let's see if and let me get my avocado benefits. So it actually has a high level of vitamin E and unsaturated fats. It contains more protein than any other fruit and more potassium than a banana. So those are the fun facts on the avocado oil. Okay, so that's 2/3 of a cup of the oil. And I'm going to do 2 lemons, and I'm going to juice these. And if you weren't here for my last class, what do we do with lemons before we chop them? Do you remember?
Roll them.
We roll them. What do we do with the outside? We peel them, because 5 to 10, the skins have 5 to 10 times more nutrients than the actual juice. So at home, you'll see we always have peels all over the place. But I just take the regular vegetable peeler. Oh, that was the other thing I do in my dehydrator. I actually dehydrate the lemon peels. And so I just peel the outside of it. And these are organic lemons because you don't want the pesticides that are on the outside of the fruits. So I just peel it, and you might get a little bit of the white part, which it's okay. So I will dehydrate it in the dehydrator, and again, it doesn't take very long for these peels. And then I grind them up in my husband's coffee grinder. And it makes a great seasoning for chicken, fish, whatever you would like. It's really good. We just made some salmon and put it on the top of there, and it was wonderful. And sometimes when I'm in a hurry and I don't have time to dehydrate them, I'll just throw them in a little baggie, throw them in the freezer, and then when you get a bigger bag full, then you can dehydrate them. Or when I make tea, like if I'm going to make a gallon of iced tea, I will put my my sauce pot on the stove with my tea bags, and then I throw the lemon peels in the sauce pot. And when I make my tea, and then I just pour everything into my gallon and make tea with the lemon peels. I make my own laundry detergent. So the dehydrated and ground up lemon peels is, I put that in my laundry detergent as well.
The frozen one that you throw in a bag, if you don't have the time to dehydrate them, can you use those in your same recipes that you said you do when they're dehydrated?
Yes.
Like on chicken and fish?
Yes.
So you can still, do you have to thaw it out, or can you just throw it in the recipe? When do you put it in?
Oh,
chicken?
you mean the frozen ones?
Yeah.
Can you put those on the? No. Well, they would be, I just throw them in there like this. So they would, I mean, you could, if you just want to put it on top and you would get a little bit of the flavor if you don't want it too strong, you could definitely do that, because you can always, like even sometimes when I make fish, I'll slice open the lemon and lay it on top. That was before I started dehydrating the peels. So you could definitely put the peels on top. It wouldn't be, I wouldn't say a strong citrus flavor, but maybe just a hint. Oh yeah, the juicer, yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and juice those, and then I will add in 2 tablespoons of maple syrup.
Is this in the recipes that we have?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. This is the massage field salad recipe. Oh, and you know what? I didn't. Sorry about that. I usually do them separate, where you can see the salad dressing and then the recipe for the salad. And then garlic granules. And so for me, what I just do is I just kind of put a little bit on top, which is a half a teaspoon. And then, I don't know how to use this. My grinder before broke. Is that how? My grinder broke, this one's new. That? Okay. Thank you. Oh, okay. I have a grinder. Yay. Okay, so just a little bit of pepper and let's see, our salt. Did we get the salt out yet? She's so good at putting everything away. Make sure I didn't have the big side open. So you know what, I'm going to go ahead and start with, I have 2 lemons on the recipe, but I noticed that these are pretty big lemons, so I'm going to start with 1 lemon and see how tart it is, because I can always add more. I can't take it away, so that's good. I'll do that. Okay. And then for you got a seed in the lemon juice. You're fired. Okay, so we'll try that. We'll see where we're at, and then we'll add what we need to. Make sure your lid's on tight if you're going to shake it.
You can dance in the kitchen too, right?
That's what we do at dish time. When we do the dishes, we turn the music up, and the kids get down. Okay, so there's our dressing, and I'll just give it a little taste and see where we're at. No, I think we need more lemon. And some more salt. So this is how I cook. I just kind of taste as I go. And again, you can always add more, and you can't take it away. And then I'm going to add a little bit of salt to the kale just to help it break down. That's good, sweetie. It doesn't have to be perfect. So are you excited for the kale salad? Have you had a kale salad before? Don't know. All the greens sometimes look the same, don't they? That's good, sweetheart.